the outspoken spokesperson for the Kennedy Agyanpong 2020 campaign. Lawyer, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
And welcome to iCulture TV, Radio Culture. Thank you very much, Pa. I said, when that time, I'm my lawyer.
Oh, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So what we do here is we mix it up, so whenever you feel like speaking in English, feel free to do so. Whenever you feel like there's a point that has to be emphasized in Chi, nothing wrong with that. Any language at all in Ghana that you feel like you can speak for people to understand is welcome, sir. And thank you very much once again for joining us on this show. Now, lawyer, before we go ahead, no video be a person me butcher real quick. Now, the basis of our discussion, me Patriotic. Stay on for me 1 moment.
Currently doing is not a thank you tour. What is happening is just a desperate attempt by Alhaji Bawumia to revive his political career after leading the new Patriotic Party to its most embarrassing political defeat. That is what is happening. And once again, you're having the entire NPP machinery rallying behind him to give him an unfair advantage over persons who desire or intend to contest him in the upcoming presidential primaries.
They do a thank you to us every election.
But listen to what the programs they are holding across the country. Who are they meeting? They are meeting their party executives. They are not meeting Kenyans.
He also says the former vice president is distancing himself from the reasons they lost in the polls as a party.
Courtesy Joy News. Lawyer, what is your reaction to that? Do you agree with Sami Jenfi? Is this something that the party had planned? Was it part of the general plan? Say it is something we have all signed on to go and do?
No, I don't think so. I think that the tradition of thank you tour is there. But this was of a difference because the party felt that no, they needed the other candidates to follow. In fact, Bawumia is taking the credit for it, but I know it's the party that suggested that for purpose of unity, we should allow all the other aspirants to join. Unfortunately, as much as Bawumia had accepted that, he was uncomfortable. And if you listen to Nana Kumia, they were becoming very uncomfortable with the popularity of Kennedy Agyanpong. And so they had to devise all means to ensure that he was not part of the thank you tour. And the second point is that, like the NDC guy is saying, the message of Bawumia is not that of a thank you tour. It's a message of somebody who is saying that I wasn't the cause of the defeat, so vote for me again. And so that's where the issues are. Apart from that, I think there's a tradition of the party to embark on a thank you call anytime there is an election, being it defeat or victory. So, yes, there's a thank you to, but this is of a difference. One, they added all the aspirants, and two, Bawumia's message is not that of a thank you to.
Okay.
It is Kennedy Agyanpong's message that can be related to a thank you to, with apologies and suggesting things the party can do to unify the people and then go and rescue power from NDC. That's what we expected of Bawumia.
Okay, so did the Agyapong campaign team feel threatened with the so-called, right, just as you explained, Bawumia, clawing for popularity in the party? Did they feel like, he's taking the lead, we have to get in there, get in on the action? Somebody described
we had our plan to do our own thank you tour relative to the primaries, and so we were not scared by his tour. You see, but coincidentally, they were invited and suggested to. So, as patriotic as Ken is, he decided to join them. And remember, he did not just join; he carved out 1 million Ghana cedis to support the payment of salaries as well as the tour. And so for us, we weren't threatened. We didn't know it would go this way. We thought that no, we're going for a thank you tour. We're going to apologize for the things we did wrong and then ask them to give us another opportunity. But unfortunately, if you look at how the candidate packaged himself. In fact, initially he was only blaming Anadu for his defeat. Things that Anadu didn't do right. I can assure you that Kennedy Agyanpong comes not with the popularity of the party, but his own popularity. But what the candidate is telling us that without the party, he couldn't have won the election. So the party did wrong, and he couldn't use his personality to garner votes to win. And that is a sad commentary of himself.
Okay. Does the Agyapong campaign take any part at all in the blame for the party's defeat this time around?
Not at all. I disagree vehemently with those who think that Kennedy Agyanpong's campaign affected the election. When Kennedy Agyanpong said that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you, he didn't say, he quoted Bawumia, who made this a public statement. You see, Bawumia did not go hide in the room and make this statement. It was a public statement. It was all over.
Statements like they are stealing like there's no tomorrow and stuff like that. He said more than that.
Yes, I know. It was in Kumasi when somebody recorded him. It was a private meeting.
New York. I was in New York at the time.
Yes, I was in the meeting. It was a private meeting where we were raising funds and we invited him as a guest speaker. A private, strictly private meeting. Then somebody managed to.
Lawyer.
I understand. But would that cause the defeat of the NPP? I disagree. When we were talking about Agenda 111, we were talking about road network and all that. Are you saying that outweighed all the achievements of the party? I disagree. And look, if Bawumia was that popular, that statement could not have affected him. Do you know what they said about John Mama? The one who contested, he said was a drunkard. He made derogatory comments about John Mama during their primaries. Yet he came and campaigned and won. So this excuse of Kennedy Agyanpong being a cause, I don't understand. There's never been an election in which people you contest will not make derogatory remarks about you. And so, if that were the case, then Kufuor wouldn't have won election on the NPP ticket. So I disagree. If Bawumia was that popular, that would have played a little role.
I hear you. Now, there's this question that I want to get out of the way because I have to ask it before we go, right? But here it is. People keep, bombarding me with this question: Why did Kennedy Agyanpong decide to join the Bawumia campaign after he had, shown that they were really not the best option? Plus all the things that they said that were said about him, including what you just described. Why did you decide to? People feel like
Kennedy Agyanpong is a Democrat, and he knows what the constitution of the party says. That that is the concept. Unless those who made those arguments.
Even if they are bleeding the country dry, that's my point.
Of course, that is the democratic exercise. I said that give it to me because I have not stolen money and that I have the capability to do it. Then the party says no, we'll give to Bawumia. Should you resign from the party? It's a big no. And that is what the other guy did, Afranto.
Alan.
And committed a political suicide. The wisdom will tell you that when you contest an election with somebody and he beats you, you don't resign from the party. You stay in and make sure the right thing is done. And that's exactly what Kennedy Agyanpong did. Kennedy Agyanpong joined the campaign when they were not making inroads. They go to him and say, oh, why not? I campaigned for Bawumia.
You agree, sir, it cost him some of his reputation, some of his belovedness. Let me put it that way. Do you agree?
You are right. I belong to several platforms and they were complaining. I joined the regional reconciliation team, the people complained. But you see, one thing that we should understand is that Kennedy Agyanpong says he's a party person. He has lived his life for the party. He will not leave the party just because he has lost a primary. No. And he took the best decision. Now today, it is his time. So whatever he said will not matter. People in the party are now aware that they made a mistake by voting Bawumia.
We'll try to get to the bottom of that. Not the bottom, we can get to the bottom, obviously. Now we'll try to pick at that and see what we can get out.
Yes, but let's interrogate it. Let's interrogate him.
That's what I was looking for. See, that's a lawyer right
Yeah.
there. Interrogate. That's exactly what we are going to do too. So,
Yes.
so lawyer. Now, speaking of Alan Shematin, right?
Yeah.
You did say so he has committed political suicide, but I also heard
Yeah.
Kennedy saying, "Say, let's call Alan back into the party. Let's call Afoko
Yes.
back into the party. Let's call certain people back into it." What's your position on that? I mean, of
I
course,
agree perfectly.
you agree
In
with
fact,
Kennedy Agyanpong, but give us more reason why.
it is the wisest statement made throughout all the talk, and that as much as from Toga, what is his name again?
Alan Shematin.
Alan Shematin left. He left out of pain. We all know. In fact, in that very moment, Kennedy Agyanpong also gave them a showdown. The difference is that Kennedy gave a showdown whilst Alan left. So he appreciates why Alan left. But politically, it has affected Alan. Because even if he comes back, the status and stature he had in the party will not be the same. He has to. They have to give him a waiver before he can become a party person. But Kennedy Agyanpong, on his part, saw ahead and saw that the best decision was not to leave the party, to stand in and fight for the right of all other party members. And look at the results that came. It has vindicated him.
Okay.
It has
With that said,
vindicated him that if they listened to him, we wouldn't have been where we are. But Umia has no base. Look at the results. In fact, he talks about data. The data is the results we have. The data is the results that we have. The results is quite clear that the candidate we chose does not have a base for people to support him. In his hometown, in the northern part of the country, he lost. In the Muslim community, he lost. So it is obvious. And you see, I say this because these things will never change. The religious reasons for his defeat will never change.
you think there's a religious reason?
Oh, there is. You are not aware?
I'm not. Tell me about it.
Oh, you see, you look at it it's two-sided. The Islamic and the Christian. Let's take the Islamic first. If you look at the results, the Muslim community did not vote for Bawumia, even though he touted that is his best advantage to the election. He lost all the Zongos. And that is a data. He can't tell us that the Zongos voted for him. They didn't. And you know, when we interrogated, you know the results we had? They said he wasn't practicing pure Islam.
Pure Islam.
He was going to shrines, going to churches, eating communion, and for them, he's not a Muslim for that matter. And then if you come to the Christian part of it, the Christians said, in fact, this representation were made even to the party chairman, even though they are denying it, that if you voted a Muslim, they were not going to vote. The apathy that we see, the 2.something million, about 70% was Christian apathy.
Though, because I also saw a group of pastors, especially from Kumasi, unusually rally behind them. Bawumia.
I organized them. The Father's Court, I organized them. You get a point. But that is not to say that the Christian community in the whole country supported it. If you look at the big churches, Duncan William, Adina Sare, and that, they were quite express on their position. And we took it for granted because we thought it was political. And that was time they would accept what we were saying. But unfortunately, they didn't. And the results will tell you. I have interrogated people, Christians, who are telling me the story.
Lawyer, now,
if you look at...
Okay, yeah, please.
If you look at the Baku conflict, the Baku conflict, the Kusasis and the Mamprusis, it negatively affected us. Because the impression was created that Bawumia was the one who was arming the Mamprusis, which was not true. By perception. And this is also evident with the press statement of the Kusasis after the election. It's not a conjecture. They have held a press conference. They said they were told by John Mama that immediately he comes, you remove the president. It is Bawumia who has armed them. So out of that, they decided en bloc to vote for NDC. In fact, one of their chiefs invoked curses on television that any Kusasi who voted for Bawumia would die. And so these were the reasons why we had the 38 or 41%. The most important question to solve it is, can these things change within 4 years? And to me, it's my opinion that it's a big no. And so if we make a mistake as a party to vote for Bawumia for his bad performance, look at an argument he makes. He said when he went to Kufuor told him that he had 39%, so he has done well. Is it not laughable? Look at the period of Kufuor's contest and look at that of Alhaji Bawumia.
Lawyer, isn't it a fact also that some, all I'm saying all because we've only had two, right? Preceding presidents before him have been there a few times before they actually got the opportunity to, get it out.
Yes. But do you know what is worse with Bawumia's case? The percentage. He has to bid on this percentage before he gets 50. It will be taking 4 consecutive elections to go there. And let me tell you, Kufuor's 39% was under Ronald's dictatorship. You all know. And Bawumia contested as an incumbent with resources, with advantages. So you can, under no circumstance intellectually, compare the two situations. It won't catch.
Okay.
Yes.
At the risk of offering unsolicited advice, or making an unsolicited input, I think that Bawumia has more of a struggle within the party than he has outside of the party.
Because he never won the primaries.
That is what I'm saying. It could be perception.
And do you know why?
Even legitimately win the flag bearership.
Do you know why?
Tell me.
He never won the primaries on merit.
Is that
the primaries that made him the presidential candidate for NPP was not won on merit.
Is that
he took advantage of the president's support and they shipped every MP, every appointee, every MCE to support him, including the party chairman. And so he won, and he's bragging that they were telling you, he won not on merit. Now that incumbency advantage is not there, he's struggling. And I can tell you, if we conduct a fair election, he will get less than 20%.
Interesting.
Yes. You know that he was given a waiver to join the party. He wasn't a party person. And immediately after he joined the party, he was given a second position for 16 solid years.
Do you think people are unnecessarily, agitated towards him because of that? People feel like we've been around, and here comes somebody who was given a waiver, just like you put it, and now he's like in charge of the party. If he performed so well as a vice president, and he became so popular, the party will be happy to go to the election with a popular person who give them power at least. You get the point? So yes. I'm not sure that is the case. Even if he was given an advantage and he became so popular, why not? Because he will win power for the party. But the truth of the matter is that in spite of the advantage, he's still unpopular. And he cannot win power for the party. Why should we insist that we'll still use such a person, even though we know that it will take him 4 consecutive elections to come on top? So that is the point. Please, let us not deceive ourselves. Bawumia will not, under any logical or academic circumstances, win election in Ghana because his candidature is fraught with a whole lot of things which cannot help. It is only a few people who benefited from his campaign who are supporting him now. Are you aware that the former president is not even in his camp? And that explains why he is. Yes, he said he has given 60 years of exposure. Oh, he has spoken. He has given him 60 years of exposure. If this is his performance, he's not sure that he can support him. Okay, all right. Again, at the risk of offering unsolicited advice, shouldn't the president look at himself first? The former president, that is, look at himself first? Because the man was serving under you, right? So if for 16 years you're giving him that exposure and he's not popular, I think some of that blame should rub off you. My personal opinion. But you don't need to respond to that.
Yes, I will respond to that. The question is why? He did what he could as the president, and as the second in command, he had every power to advise him.
Kufuor gave
Yes.
what? Kufuor wasn't direct like that, to be honest with you, and
Yes.
Martin wasn't vice president, but
Yeah.
it was almost an open secret that Kufuor was
Of
heavily
course.
tilted for Martin, right?
Of course. Yes.
He never became president. He never won even the flag bearership. Can't we make
Yes.
that point?
No, we can't, because Bawumia never won the flag bearership. He never won it. It was stolen. He never won it. You can't conduct an election and the party chairman will be coming out publicly. Those who are going to referee, the election says we support one man. How can that be an election? And these are the lessons that we want them to learn. You see, these are the lessons we want them to learn. If you're a referee, you can't support one party. You have to be neutral. And we didn't have that.
What do you think about the current executive? What do you think about them?
Oh, to me, they are not effective. I'm minding my language, but they are not effective. They don't deserve to be given a second chance because they have failed miserably. Can you imagine? Oh, no. Because, see, I was going to consider the general secretary, but look, you can look at his disadvantages that he was not given the free hand to operate. No, because he should have spoken up during the period. And if you look at the fact that he can't even pay salaries 3 months after in opposition, it shows you that administratively they were ignorant. And it is dangerous to have people like that in charge. The chairman is a disaster. The chairman is a disaster. And you can see what is even happening with this thank you to. He's not even speaking, articulating anything. He's just quiet. Once upon a time, I heard he said in a meeting that, oh, we are all behind Bawumia. And the general secretary had to correct him that that's not the position of the party. You see, so, yes, for them, we believe that the election will tell, they will all leave. I hear only one person wants to contest again.
What is there? There was also a slip of tongue from Justin Kodua when he called Kennedy Agyanpong Mr. President. I don't know if you've seen that clip.
That was prophetic.
Oh, in your case, it's prophetic.
It is prophetic, yes. Because unconsciously, he made a statement. It was prophetic. God was speaking to NPP.
Let me ask you, lawyer, what gives you the confidence to be so outspoken in a place where even the elders of the party seem muted? And we'll be addressing that next. But what gives you the confidence to be so outspoken like that?
Because I'm a professional. I don't depend on anybody's resource, and nobody can influence me. So I cannot be scared of anybody. I speak my mind. And you see, unlike those who insult, I don't insult. And the issues that I address, if you are a person who reasons, you sit down, you know that I'm not just being malicious. I speak my mind. I speak as it is. And if the party will listen to people like me, I think I would have won the election. And so we just need bold people who are not scared. Some people believe that if you speak against the president, he will not give you a contract. I'm not going for anybody's contract. And if I don't get appointment, I will survive because I'm doing well as a lawyer. So that is it. That's why I speak my mind. And I have the traces of Kennedy Agyanpong in me.
Okay, like mine in the same camp, of course.
Exactly.
So you also mentioned you poked a very interesting question. It's in the clip as well, but I don't want to waste time on that because I want us to cover as much as possible within this interview. So you poked a very interesting question. You said we should interrogate how the party is financed.
Yes.
How is the party financed? We heard rumors about party Hinska and all of these things. Now we're hearing about Abronia saying, somebody gave somebody money, whatnot. How is the party financed?
In fact, this question can be best answered by the executive. But what I know in the past is that, like every political party, when you give contracts to people, they are supposed to come in to support you anytime you need money. So we have Airport City, big contract, big sums of money. Then we give to contractors. When we need money, we go to them. That please, it's time for you to help us with our finance. In this case, I am suspecting. What?
Is it ethical?
It is. That is how we run the parties here. Because you see, that is why people are not accounting for political money. Because if you look at the political party law, it doesn't allow you to solicit for some of those things. But to be frank, that is how it is. If I offer you a contract and I need money, I should be able to come to you and say that please finance my party. And that is internal financing, which is allowed. That is allowed. Those who go to Russia for money are doing the wrong thing. We spotted an agreement between the sitting president and the Russian oligarchs that if he comes to power, this is what?
Is that a fact or conjecture?
I saw the letter, unless somebody manufactured it. I saw it.
Behind the scenes, though. Show it to me, please.
Yes, behind the scenes. And if that, okay, let me put it. If that is the case, then it is wrong. You get the point. But internal financing, the law allows it. And so we're expecting that those we have helped in the past, when we need money, they should be the people to help us. But we are not seeing that, because if it were, they will not be crying for money these 4 months. The NDC built an ultra-modern office during their tenure and came to a position where financing their party. What went amiss? Why are we not getting the same?
So your ultra-modern buildings as well, like the one in Agyapong and all that, you know. So,
no, they were sponsored by the candidates and a few. And they are not ultra-modern. They are ordinary structures. Except that the face,
it looks really nice. Well, it's a facade you're trying to say.
It's nice but cheap.
Okay, it's a facade. Okay, but it looks nice though.
Yeah. So we have an issue. You get the point. And I would love to interrogate Bawumia's attribution of the defeat to certain factors. The day I listened to him, I was so disappointed.
Yes,
he said that
lawyer. As we segue into that now. Mamin Bissau, first of all, please, have you seen the report, the Okwe report?
No, I haven't seen it at all.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
People are saying, it seems Dr. Bawumia may have seen it and is nitpicking some of the things in it to talk about. The General
Secretary said that they have decided to go out to those ones that are not sensitive. But my intel tells me that in the report, they stated that we had religious issues with our defeat. I know that for a fact because the source is genuine. But Bawumia comes out to say that the report doesn't deal with that. So I disagree with him.
That point in the report?
Yes.
That point.
No, he was responding to what we had said in public.
Okay.
And said that the report doesn't have that, but I know it has that. In fact, there cannot be a report without those two things. It was obvious all around. People say we will not vote because it's religion. You get the point. But Bawumia went ahead to talk about things that government did that he didn't know. Was that a breach of the oath of secrecy? That you are in a government, you are in the second position, and then the party is taking decisions, yet you are claiming that you know nothing about it. So you should be voted into power to correct them. I think that was a mark of ingratitude, and in fact it has attracted a lot of wrath from the former president's camp, that you are being ungrateful, because even without a former president, you couldn't have gotten where you are in politics.
Well, we heard during the election say it was a strategy, right, to kind of brand Bawumia for acceptability by the Ghanaian people. No, they realize that Ghanaians are kind of mad at the government, so the way to make him a little slightly more acceptable is to detach him from the failures of the Akufo-Addo government. You think that no aspele over Asla or blame me? You know, he's forgotten the elections are over and he's still singing the same tune.
I should think so. And I hear statements. So it was deliberate. It was prepared. No PowerPoints. It was prepared. And yes, it was spontaneous. He had started with his camp and they had deliberately decided that no. You get a point. And the party itself was not happy because they know the advantages you have had as a vice president, the empire you have created as a vice president, they are aware of it. And so if you come out in this manner, look at the digitization that was given to you. You perform extraordinary. And that was a discretionary power exercised by the president. That take charge, even though there's a ministry, take charge of digitization and make your name out of it. And that made Bawumia who he is. He should not forget that. All the other advantages he had, he has certainly forgotten it as if it was a right for a vice president to be given such opportunity to front up. For Bawumia is the best vice president we have had in this country, because Nanado gave him a lot of opportunities. His leadership quality is something to be discussed later on, because there was somebody who worked as a special assistant to him who came out last minute. I have heard a national security operator's voice saying that if you go to Bawumia's house and you are wearing suit, you'll be sitting there and people from the wife's hometown will come and pass and enter.
I heard that too, but I put a little premium on that, to be honest with you.
Oh, it is. I know who said it. I've interrogated him, and he said he has a lot to say. And so that goes his leadership quality. You see, and all this things you cannot wash under the carpet, because when we make a mistake and vote him and he comes to power and he begins to do these things, it will affect the party running the second term. So we should be careful. We have such a man like Kennedy Agyanpong, who does not only speak but act, who has shown passion for Ghana and the youth. People like Abronye getting 2 cars. Kennedy Agyanpong walking the street of United Kingdom looking for law books for Abronye. Such a passionate man. And we don't like him.
Speaking of Abronye, and I hate to speak about that guy, I'll be very honest with you, because I put 0 premium on things that he says, right? He's not somebody that I quote on anything at all. But he has said some pretty damning things. And I'm not going by what I've heard him say, but I've heard people also say that is the dogs coming, and your dogs, is the chickens coming home to roost.
Yes.
He made his mark on Kennedy Agyanpong's media platform.
Yes.
He cut his teeth even as a communicator. He was in way, said a lot of nasty stuff about the sitting president, who was then president. And now he's turned, chickens have come home to roost. Is that what's happening?
I think Kennedy Agyanpong should this time learn a big lesson from it. Because all those guys who have turned against were paupers who were begging him to make them human beings. You know the other guy, what is his name? Adumako Kwachi also Bodeba. That guy also did the same thing. And these were people that Kennedy Agyanpong held in high esteem, knew that they were coming from the gutters, wanted to establish them, advise them on what to do, and then empower them with opportunity to speak on radio and also give them money. Look at what they turn up to do. So seriously speaking, my honorable Kennedy Agyanpong, I believe that he should learn a lot from this. He should deal wisely with talkatives, because they always act the same way. They came to you because they thought you were financial. Now, Bawumia, by virtue of his office, has also become financial. And so now they will shift to where the money is. That is all there is about. And so they have to do something publicly for Bawumia to love them. Now look, if Bawumia does not come out openly to condemn that act, he should get ready. Because we'll finish him.
Oh, wow.
He should get ready. He should come out openly and say that he doesn't associate himself with what the guy said. And that we should be decorous when we speak about party people. When he does that, there will be we'll put a halt to our plan. Otherwise, his dossier is coming. His dossier, his wife, his dossier, his wife, and everybody.
Dossier.
Yes, it's coming out.
Lawyer, what's going on with the NPP? Why can't cool heads rule?
Ask Abronye and the vice president.
This is my question to you.
And who to me? Who to me?
Lawyer.
Abronye and the vice president.
My brother, let me please appeal to you, right? Why is the NPP leaving Abronye to control the party? Why? That's my question.
He's not. If Abronye is not controlling the party, let me.
He's the one who's steering the fortunes of the party at this point.
No, not at all. Look,
please respond.
I can explain by referring to the official response of the camp of Kennedy Agyanpong.
Means nothing to a lot of people. Excuse me. This is what I mean.
Kennedy Agyanpong.
1 second.
Kennedy Agyanpong has not spoken, has he?
Fair enough. No, but
now his special assistant has come out with a statement.
Yes.
That we are not going to react. And that all the supporters should be cool. But what I'm saying is that as long as we remain cool, we expect the other camp to condemn the act.
But
so that we know that.
I know what said that. Why is it fair? Agyapong went to say something. The party was quick to rein her in.
Yes.
Even though that was another story when she showed up.
Yes.
But the party was prompt to rein her in. Here
True.
comes saying things that are definitely affecting the fortunes of the party. I haven't heard anybody rein him in. Meanwhile, this is a party that has had BJ Rocha, Apia Menka. Mention them. That has Kwame Pienim in the party.
Those were leaders.
Why
those were leaders
alive? Some of them. Kwame Pienim is alive. Former President Kufuor is alive. Why is Abronye steering the party this way and is getting some of you to knee jerk after him? Because now
it's because
here.
Yes.
Further for cannon to your enemy, basically, is what's happening. Like
yes. So we expect them, the elders you mentioned, we expect them to act. They shouldn't allow that boy to go scot-free without doing anything. That's our expectation, and we are saying that we will not wait forever. We will not look. Kennedy Agyanpong as an individual can win an election in Ghana, but Umia can never. They should take note of that. Kennedy Agyanpong as an individual can win an election in Ghana. So look, if there's anybody to protect, it's Kennedy. He has decided not to respond to Abronye.
Let's look at Kennedy. And for a moment ago, I didn't want to interrupt, but I was very touched when you expressed some introspection, the need for some introspection. So let's look at some introspection here, because I think it's needed. Let's look at Kennedy himself. Do you think he should have reacted to Abronye? He got let down in the gutter. He is presidential candidate. Abronye is at very best regional chairman, and one that people always point to for the wrong reasons. When people want to show square pegs in round holes, Abronye is one of the examples that come up.
Exactly.
I know two in Ghana. I won't say anything else about anybody else.
Look, I took the same position you are taking now, that Ken shouldn't have reacted.
Exactly.
But
secondly, when Kennedy Agyanpong speaks, he refers to Mama Wesi, say Mama Wesi where you're here. People don't see that as a quality that a president should possess. Please respond to that. Introspection.
You see, I had the same impression you have when I heard that he had responded to it. I asked Guy G and the rest, where were you when he reacted? But when they explained the circumstance, I said, okay. Then I had time to speak with him. And he gave chronology of the things that he has done for Abronye. And I was like, wow, no wonder you are so pained. He got out of his way to ensure that that boy became somebody. You see, so, yes, staying outside, you not appreciate it. But look, if you spend your life for somebody and he treats you that way, that's why when people are divorcing, it's so it's so bitter, and the acrimony is too high. It's because of the love that they had that has broken. So people should appreciate it from the point of view of how Kennedy Agyanpong related to these people.
That's fair enough.
And yet, and yet they stabbed him in the back.
A drunkard. And people dealt with that without Mahama saying nothing about it. You see? So I think his team, you guys, and you are very I don't say you are a spokesperson, but I also believe that you are part of his advisory team. I think you guys should do a little better at that.
We are doing our best. I can tell you, Mr. Bakun, we are doing our best. And I'm telling you that going forward, we'll do more. If you look at what has happened from the beginning of this tour up to this time, look at his speeches. The only incident is the Abronye incident. You see, so we are doing a lot.
I was very touched when he says Alan and Afoko and all.
Oh yes.
I thought that's the type of message that should be on a thank you tour.
And you know what? Do you know why? It is as a result of that suggesting that they groomed Abronye to come and do what he did.
How come it be so? Thank you for bringing this up. Why do you think people are opposed to have, after all, numbers? Politics, they say numbers.
Yes.
People are opposed to that. If Alan Chamatin comes, so Na for front of na no more yellow.
So
what are you opposed to that?
So the condition said the person should have been suspended is wrong. It is their opinion. Our position is that all of them should come. I've suggested that the party chairmanship and general secretary should be given to Afoko and the other guy who was secretary. Because they are now saying that they were removed by mafia. Agyapong. If it is, then let us compensate them with their office because they won an election.
But
for them to come back.
Undemocratic though, wouldn't it?
Of course. But we can agree to vote in that direction.
A blanket amnesty of some sort back into the party, right?
Yes.
From there.
Yes.
That would be fair.
So as I was saying, Kennedy Agyanpong is doing well now. We have spoken to him. He will not react to this one and will not react to any other again. Because we have explained to him that this is deliberate. They sat down and planned and said, go and provoke the man so that he can get out of his way, so that we can take advantage of it. Otherwise, his message is resonating, said that everybody said that the man is wise. He spoke intelligently.
Lawyer.
Abundant of wisdom. While his opponent was doing a blame game, he was speaking wisdom.
Okay. Unim, this is a conversation we will keep having. I love the depth of insight that you bring to the discussion. I really love it. And I love it when there's no script. We're having a real conversation. We're touching of everything. Before we go, let me ask you, there are people who are also of the school of thought say both Bawumia and Kennedy Agyanpong should step aside and have a fresh face to lead the NPP. What do you think?
Oh, I disagree vehemently to that suggestion because we can only win the election with a popular candidate. You see, so in terms of probably reconciliation, that might seem good. In terms of reconciliation, that might seem good. But to tell you the truth, we can only win election by a popular candidate. And if you let the two step aside, are you not going to groom and sell somebody? It will be very difficult. So for me, they are the two candidates we have. Only that we have to choose the wise amongst them, and he's Kennedy Agyanpong.
Okay, that sounds very biased, but that's all right.
Yeah.
And lawyer.
And you know why I say he's wise?
Tell me.
He is a leader, and that is wisdom. He has created employment. He has resolved social difficulties in his private capacity, not as a public servant. And this is a mark of leadership. This is what we call leadership. It's not academic achievement. Please, if I had not spent several years in the university, somebody could have bullied me with these people who call themselves doctors and professors. But I can tell you, wisdom doesn't lie in the British training. It lies in how you apply wisdom to achieve something. And that's what Agyapong represents. In the midst of difficulty, he established businesses. He helped individuals in schools. You know the record. Give scholarship to individuals who are otherwise who cannot make it. And help people like
in his hometown, which is full disclosure to you. My parents lived in Asinfosu, right?
Yes.
And more fun fact, maybe you might even know my brother. He was the MC for Asinfosu.
Okay.
Just the past MC. So this is an area I know very well. Now, there's a lot of criticism against him for what Juma will be Juma, but there is no real industry, so to speak, to point to in that area.
The fruit or juice factory. Do you know that where it is?
I know it factory. Is it that?
Yes.
No, is it?
Oh, it is. In fact, in our recent discussions with him, he mentioned what he's going to do more to it. You see, he speaks about the chain, how you plant, how you employ people in the farm, how you cultivate, and he has plans for it. You get the point. He invests where he can get the most results.
Plans for it after being MP for how many years, lawyer?
No, but look, what I'm saying is that he plans to add. He's already created employment in his constituency. No, but let me ask you: has Bawumia done anything? Has Bawumia done anything in his constituency?
Before we go to Bawumia, let's examine Ken a little more.
Yes, but I'm also doing a comparison.
We'll get
has
there.
Nanado done anything in his constituency?
Oh, he has free internet in what you call it, his hometown.
Oh, free internet is not investment. We want employment.
I'm just saying though. But what I'm saying.
So compare the free internet to a factory, and you know that he has done a little more than all the others. You get the point. That's the point that I'm trying to.
Immigration now, for instance, I think he was quite instrumental in having it cited, for instance. Now, people are giving credit for helping locals to, go there, which is not bad at all.
Not at all.
Now he's there to help get employment for his people. And as I saying, NPP from Kwane, somebody, been a maker, my brother is, but not everybody in our family is necessarily NPP. So people things like that. Now, with that said, however, you per se you have something that is his, because he always points to himself as a businessman with investments here and there. I've built this over there, the cold store in Tema, this and that and that. What industry has he put in his own constituency here? Okay, the factory, you mentioned the jute factory, and that can come in Senediakra. I know it's a very old factory. It was there before I was born.
Yes.
It went down, and maybe they're trying to revive it. I don't know.
Yes.
That's something I'll take a look at.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, as if you were there, we were having a conversation. Do you know what he told me? He said this time he's looking at Central Region because he has been criticized for not doing much investment in Central Region. Because he's now looking at the Volta region.
I heard that.
Yes, and Tema. He has a lot of plans. And so he said that as an individual, if I could do this.
Interesting for them, so trying to say, "Kobe dam if you sabi, nan cancer no the Pia could do Volta region."
If you damn they say what the people will scholarship or more education or more capital. I know if you had a coffee and professor lie will be abeje. And he did well with that. You see, so he's now going to do more. Or some for presidency in Mano or Beya Mabroso.
Okay. Now, as we finally go, we won't say we are criticizing Dr. Bawumia, and you also mentioned Dr. Bawumia, then why am I don't know. So I can't to sit there and try to answer that. But we're criticizing him for peaking a little too early, right? Trying to represent himself as a candidate. But here we are, doing the same, basically.
No, but when Bawumia does, we have to equate it because it's about numbers.
Okay, so
you get the point. Yes, that is why we are doing that. Otherwise, we are advised not to come out openly. There were discussions on radio. MPs coming to say that Bawumia should be brought back. Then we had to come up with something.
This confirms the point. So you get crushed that. Thank you, Tono.
We did it. Do you know what we did? Do you know what we did in Ashanti region? I was part of the organizers of the Ashanti region. I personally made 100 t-shirts. I'm being frank with you, for Kennedy Agyanpong. Then we went to Abuakwa. When we went, he had brought some ladies. The Bawumia ladies also. They were making noise. And when Bawumia was invited, they came all over. Spent about 10 minutes on the floor. And then we immediately organized ourselves for Bantima. That we also get people to support us in Bantima. You get it? If you look at Kumasi, they didn't use the picture of Bawumia. Abuakwa didn't, Bantima didn't, because they said they would not give anybody an advantage. And if you look at those who had, nobody cheered Bawumia. It was the girls who did. But for Kennedy, the love is organic. And we should accept that. No, you see, Bawumia cannot artificially say that people should not support Ken, because the man was popular before he even came to the party. He was popular before Bawumia joined the party. And so it's not as if it is today that he's trying to be popular. He's a grassroots person. Bawumia should know that. Bawumia is a stranger who has come to do well in the party, and he deserves the presidency, so he's trying his best. We don't have a problem with that at all. But you can't gag the people from supporting Kennedy Agyanpong. He's always loved. Hospital was in 37, no? Was in 37, no?
And I could go see no asin for so second year secretary lawyer.
And can yeah, papa can confirm support no more. Me know ya adwene.
It's a big Catholic hospital, so maybe
Me know ya adwene 1 million the come NPP no kodi ye ni campaign kan mo ano. What you say? There are a lot of questions. But that is who he is. He's so generous. That he immediately in the morning he left to town looking for beds because people were lying on the floor. They couldn't get in the hospital. But what he did was that he bought wheelchairs and took it, hundreds of them, took it to the hospital. He couldn't have gone there without doing something. That is his nature.
I hear.
But Baumia went there and gave 50,000. That is all. He didn't see those lying on the floor. It is not his business. For Ken, it is his business. This is the difference between the two of them. And Ghanaians should accept that.
I see. Lawyer, as we go, no, one last unsolicited input for the NPP. Okay. Now,
all right.
Dr. Baumia, I see say I'll pick it up, and I'll let me just go straight to the point. Who said maybe he's not picking at some of the points why the party lost. May I please humbly suggest, said Dr. Baumia, one of the main reasons why the NPP lost is because you, Dr. Baumia, people thought you were not trustworthy.
Yes.
A major point. So if that was not captured in the Okwe report, then the Okwe report should be revisited.
Yes.
If that was captured and it's one of the things that they don't want to tell us, I can understand that. But then again, report. The report is supposed to be studied and sober reflection has to be done on it. And to know where you really fell, no? If it's sensitive, like you are saying now, maybe sensitive and keep it, but work towards it. Because if you go and say we've built more airports than anybody, and you see one single airport.
You don't cross check, no,
no, but your involvement, you don't even have to cross check. It's right there. I don't want to go to I'm just saying, say, of all the things I've heard Dr. Baumia say is part of why they lost. Now, I've never heard him mention that. But that, to me, was one of the major reasons why the NPP was not an option for some people in election 2020.
Of course.
Lawyer William Kusi, Medawasipi, Yabesa from here, from time to time, to refresh us on topics.
For the opportunity. Now, spread the Kennedy Agyanpong news because he's the only savior for the party. No other person can do it. Spread it abroad. Spread it locally. He's a savior for NPP. God bless you.
God bless you too. But full disclosure, next week, God willing, we will also have somebody from the Baumia camp to come and tell us.
They will struggle. They will struggle.
Because according to say Osono no, Mwanka say mo symbol no, any ni fra form and sano. Obi call yeah, just also they say yeah to ebi. Obi call no cost ni sre. No say hey, Charlie, I to change their work no. Obi call no cost ni yefunu. Osi bo mu nim dia moka Osono. Et say we are singing Obi are right ana. Because Obia
you're right.
No, everybody's describing the elephant from their perspective.
Exactly.
Baumia campaign so beka. Na ye hu say.
Baumia the end I data election data. What the end we can data can call contest be on na call contest na data near clear. The Muslim community voted, the Christian community voted, they're not voted against him. This is a data. He can't dispute that fact.
Okay. And I also think said the elders in the NPP, the silence is too much.
Too much. Too much. I agree with you. Too much.
For the elders in the room to speak.
Yeah.
Because to leave, I don't want to bring anybody's name. I brought but there are so many other people I feel like they're not capable of handling the party. And you see me have won a historic election, whatnot. They can get complacent.
Yes.
So we need, at the very least, a party that is strong enough to check it. At the very least.
Okay.
Enough said. Lawyer, my was
bye bye.